Later sometimes maybe you can teach the Panchadashi. Another chapter you mean? Yeah, we will do that. Aspriha, I'm seeing you after a long time. Where have you been? I'm going to wish online classes will be extended. Yeah. May your prayers be answered. That is because it was converted into a visual symbol. That's how that came. At some point it was converted into a visual symbol, although it is not according to the Shastra. That's how it came. Alright, let's go back. Let's come back to the class. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinnavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Atmanam Maranim Kritva Pranavanchottararanим Jnana-nirmathanabhyasat Pashandahati panditah. Atmanam, here Antahkarana. Atma means Antahkarana. Arani. Arani means that which is ready to receive the fire. Yeah. That which is ready to assimilate this fiery knowledge. Knowledge is equated to fire. Why? Because it burns away everything without a residue. So if you put the coals, hot coals, like somebody went to somebody else's house to receive the coals, they said, please give some fire. Oh, what do you have? What shall I give the fire in? And the person said, I have Sunday newspaper. Please put the fire in the Sunday newspaper. What will happen if you put the fire in the Sunday newspaper?
Monday morning ash.
Huh?
Ashes.
Ashes. That's what will happen. I don't know what this 333 is. What happened? 333 plus plus plus? I don't know. Anyway. So, oh, all right. Okay. Mistake. Okay, good. So, so therefore, if you say, I want to receive, these please give me some fire. Sometimes, in the olden days they used to do that. Even now in the rural areas, somebody has a sikadi. Sikadi means there is a fire going in somebody's house. Coals are there. Please, may I borrow some coals? Our coals have gone to cook the evening meal or for fire ritual, whatever it is. So they say, please, yeah, what shall I put it in? And this fellow says, here, I have the newspaper. What do you mean newspaper? How can I give you the fire in a newspaper? It's a Sunday New York Times. It is big. Put it in that. By the time you receive it, the receptacle has gone and that which has been received has also fallen down. You cannot conserve anything, correct? So the Uttararanim, in the example, the Antahkarana has to be strong enough and has to be purified enough, cleaned and purified and strengthened to receive the fire of knowledge. In fact, to generate that fire of knowledge even, it has to be made into that. And so, what happened here? Mantraputam antahkaranam, wiped clean by the practice of mantra. Navarina shuddhyati antaratma. You have water for the outer body cleansing. You have soap. But that same water you cannot sprinkle on the antaratma, correct? That inner mind, the antahkarana, the inner instrument. So how to clean the buddhi and the mind of the ragadveshas? Harinama japa, that's the only medicine. So you meditate upon Bhagavan, you say the name of Bhagavan, you do Om Namah Shivaya japa, and the japa is like the soap. The soap japa creates certain lathers that, what are the lathers? The lathers are the, Vairagya and Viveka foam it creates. What is that? The Harinama Japa. And this special Harinama Japa creates this special lather that, rubs and scrubs away the Ragadveshas without residue. And even the stains of the Ragadvesha are not left on the mind. So, the more you do japa, the more the inner instrument, which is called the mind, clears itself of ragadvesha. Why? Because that is the present of the mantra, that is the prasada of the mantra, number one. And number two, because when you are doing the mantra japa, there is no time for anything else, is there? और क्या टाइम है? There is no time to say I am going to fulfill raga now, dvesha now, what shall I eat now? Mostly it is about eating. What to cook now, what to eat now, how to spend time now. All this doesn't arise. Why? Because I am constantly doing japa. And so therefore what? Therefore we understand this very well. We have to understand this properly. It's that it's not just an empty example. That adho arani, that place, that arani has two parts, like I told you in the morning, that the bottom part has to be cleaned. Because even otherwise, even in the example, if there are debris, dried leaves, etc., it will interfere with the production of the sparks. So that has to be wiped clean. Likewise, what does the adho arani stand for? It stands for the receptacle where the knowledge, that the medium which is going to receive the knowledge, the location where the knowledge is going to be placed, has to be cleared of ragadveshas, fears, doubts. All that has to be resolved through all shama, dama, shraddha, titiksha, samadhanam, etc. Uparati, mumukshutvam, viveka, vairagya, these are the ones. And as a result of the mantra japa, mantra putam, antah karanam, kritva, then what? Then and the Tikakara says vanhi janakam. Vanhi janakam means that which is capable of producing sparks. You have to make it capable. How? It has to be dry. No sadness. No wetness. It cannot be lined with tears. All sorrow. First the sorrow has to be dispelled and dried out by the towel of the mantra. And then there should be no dampness of dejection, no sorrow, no hopelessness, no fears. And then what happens? Then you find that it is vanhi janakam. It is capable of creating a spark. Correct? And then what? Adhaha vidhaya adhararanitvena चिंतयित्वा इत्यर्थः प्रणवम् ओंकारम् उत्तरारणिम् अपि चकारः कृत्वा इत्येतत् अनुवर्तते. Okay, ज्ञान निर्मथनाभ्यासात्. Oh, he already went to the second line. Okay, I have one more thing to say in the first line. The omkara is the churning stick to bring the fire, correct? Yeah. And what kind of om? A known om or an unknown om? A known om, because an unknown om will not do anything, correct? Yeah, the known om. And so the churning stick is deployed correctly and it's placed in the mind as an aid to fire up the kindling of knowledge. That little piece of rope that is kept, or the little, dried out blade of grass that is kept, it has to be extremely dry, because otherwise it will not ignite. And what does that represent? The little piece of rope or the dried out blade of grass represents the Mahavakya, Tattvamasi, a teaching that shows the equation between the Jiva and Ishvara. Tattvamasi, Aham Brahmasmi, whatever it is, a teaching that the crux of the teaching, the vision, is contained in the sentence which equates this lowly Jiva with the most exalted Ishvara, thereby saying all that is here is one whole and you are it. So that teaching is understood but is not being lived. The one who knows I am Brahman is still living like a Jiva. The Jiva hood. One is wearing like a hoodie, yeah. So what to do? So keep the teaching, and then through the practice of Omkara Upasana, what happens to the teaching? The teaching is rubbed. Yeah. The teaching is, there is a gharshanam. Gharshanam means there is a rubbing with a certain force. The kindling is dry, meaning again the teaching has been received as it is without any, it has not been allowed to rot, It is fresh, it is there in the mind. The mind also is prepared, and the Omkara becomes that quickening stick, that churning stick that produces that makes the knowledge come alive in the heart. Where it come alive means until then it was dead knowledge received from the dead teacher? No, not really. It is live knowledge. But why was it acting dead? Because it wasn't activated as owned up as oneself. How to activate the knowledge received? In fact, it is already activated. But if one were to press and ask that question, how to activate the knowledge? You own it up. That's what it is. So the Omkara Upasana rubs on the Mahavakya kindling and produces the fire of knowledge, which burns down all the karma and live in the life of this Pandita. How beautiful this is, isn't it? And so then what does the Tika say? The next line, very interesting all this is. ज्ञान निर्मथनाभ्यासात् ज्ञानस्य सर्वात्मकः अहम् इति एवं रूपस्य निर्मथनं युक्तिभिः विलोडनं तस्य अभ्यासः आवृत्तिरूपः ज्ञाननिर्मथनाभ्यासः तस्मात्. So ज्ञाननिर्मथनाभ्यासात् it is given. Yeah. Nirmathanam means math, to churn. Nirmathanam means this repeated and forceful churning. And what is this jnanam? I am idam sarvam. It was already given in the last verse. Sarva bhutastham atmanam, sarva bhutani cha atmani. That was what was given in the last verse. That is the jnanam that has to be rubbed with the Omkara. Rubbed with the Omkara means what? And whose meaning is seen in the Om repeatedly, or Om is seen as a way to strengthen the meaning of this, that I am everything. And then what? Vilodanam, it says, the repeated churning. And then Avritti means the repeated practice of the Omkara Upasana. You can take it in this way. You can take it as the repeated practice of the Omkara Upasana helps you to own up the knowledge, or using Omkara as an aid, the meaning of the word Om, you see more and more. You cast a light on yourself and then you bring yourself, you activate that knowledge and own up that knowledge as yourself. You assimilate that knowledge. And then, Avritti Rupam, Tasmat Utpannam. And what is when the kindling catches fire, what is that fire? Aham Brahmasmi. And what kind of Aham Brahmasmi? I am Brahman. Sakshatkara Agnina. This fire which is saying you are that, the fire that leaves no doubt, no residue in the mind that I am Brahman alone. Sakshatkara Agnina Pasham Atmanah Bandharupam Ajnana Rajju Chitam. Very beautiful. So Pasha here is the Pasha also means rope here. Rope's bondage. So it burns up the rope. There is a pun intended. Because a piece of rope is put, I told you. Correct? And so the rope here has two meanings. One is the rope stands for the piece of rope stands for the Mahavakya. See, the rope has an abiding presence in this Vedanta, eh? Yeah, so the piece of rope, the little piece of the frayed rope that they put in between the two aranis stands for the Mahavakya, which is rubbed and assimilated in a fiery way, which becomes live for you, which starts speaking to you. And the rope here, which is being burnt, is also the residual karma of bondage. That is also the rope. Correct? In the first instance, the rope is, you can make a joke and say that rope is not the snake. So when I start to see everything objectively, that teaching is what is ignited with the practice of Omkara meditation and contemplation. When I keep seeing the meaning of the teaching through the Omkara Upasana, what I see is that the Vairagya is ignited, the knowledge is ignited. And then you can also take it as the ropes of ajnana. And many bondages are there here. Ajnana, because of ajnana, what do? I have desire. Ragadveshas are because of ajnana. So the fattest rope is ajnana, and then the baby rope of ajnana is kama. Kama has another baby, one more shackle. What is that? Because of desire, what do? Karma. Action, because the desire will not sit in the heart and say, okay, I am the desirer. No. The desire creates a udvega, a pressure to do things and gain things in time. So that udvega itself is a big problem. And so that pressure to do things and to bring the desire to fruition, karma. And what is the baby of karma called? Yeah, karma has twins, papa, punya. Good karma, bad karma. And then what are the next generation called? Punarjanma, rebirth. This is the shackle. Birth after birth, this is the rope. And the rope is nothing but the constant aropa of the jiva on this atma. That is the rope. That is the shackling of the rope. And ajnana karma, ajnana kama karma shrinkhala. This is the rope of the unending cycles of shackles due to ignorance, desire and action. And then rebirth. And then again more action, more ignorance. Not more ignorance, rebirth in ignorance. Then more desire, more action. Then again rebirth in result of action, rebirth in ignorance. So this is the ajnana rajju chitam. So this collected by this ajnana rajju, the rope, the shackles of the primal shackles are the ignorance. So the primal ropes of ignorance, collect what? Collect more ropes, as we saw, and all those ropes are burned away by this jnana agni. The fire of knowledge burns away all the ropes. I am a karta, rope is burnt away. I am a bhokta, I am the recipient of other people's omissions and commissions. I feel sorry for myself. When is the next pity party? Rope is burned away. I am a doer, rope is burned away. I am bound to doing, rope is burned away. I am the knower, rope is burned away. So all these ropes, which were the result of my own aropa, everything is burned away. Burned away. The knowledge removes. What kind of karmas does the knowledge removes? It removes the I am the karta notion, it removes. So all the karmas fall away because the karmas are attached to the doer. You cannot have a lost and found bin and take out one action from the bin. Who does this action belong to? Correct? The action always is connected to the actor. Can there be action without actor? No. The notion that I am an actor is falsified. So all the actions drop away. Sanchita karma, all collected action, life after life after life. Agami karma, the actions to be done in this life. And then prarabdha karma continues, but really speaking, it doesn't have a say over you. It just has the say over the body because you know you are not the body anyway. So therefore what? All these three things are burned away. Nothing more for this person. This person has a khali, empty bank account. Yeah, no more coming back. While living, the person lives like Ishvara. And then after the body drops, becomes a source of inspiration and worship for others. Becomes an altar for surrender for others. That's all it is. Altar of blessing and surrender. The same thing. Because that one who never died was never born to begin with. Body was born, body will go through whatever it needs to go through and then drop off when it is time. That is all it is. So pasham dahati, and who burns? The ajnani or the jnani? Jnani. Pandaha asya asti. Panda means the knowledge that I am the whole. That is called panda. Pandaha asya asti iti panditaha. Saha pasham dahati. That person burns up all the ignorance. Nothing is more is left without a residue. So the one who has aham brahmasmi buddhi is called pandita. Next one. Sa eva maya parimohitatma
Saeva Maya Parimohitatma
Shariramasthaaya karoti sarvam
Shariramastaya Karoti Sarvam
Striyannapanadi vichitra bhogaihi
Striyanapamadi Vichitra Bhogaihi
Sa eva jagrat paritriptimeti Sa eva jagrat paritriptameti. So now this Brahman, if all that is here is Brahman alone, and this Brahman is the whole, and this Brahman is, is the, what was that? Sarva bhutastham atmanam, sarva bhutani cha atmani, vipashyan, there is nothing there to see. This is the Pandita, everything is there done. Then of course there is a question, the kind of question that Rudradasa asked in the break. How come this Atma became Jiva? How come it was born in ignorance? Yeah. He didn't know this was going to come. That's why he asked it. He must have already seen that maybe this is going to come. How come this Brahman who got this thing, how come it became this ignorant Jiva? And here the answer is given. Sa eva. Who is this Saha? Saha means Brahman. This Brahman who is beyond time, beyond space, who is the meaning of the silence after the Om, who is the truth of the Ma, itself soundless, itself nameless, itself attributeless. This Brahman, what happens? Mayaya parimohita atma bhavet, bhavati ityartha. So parimohita, from muh to delude, mohita, past passive participle, deluded, parimohita, paritaha mohita. The prefix pari means all round deluded. We have a saying that such a person is a well-rounded person, meaning they know how to do many things very well, correct? And then you say such a student is an all-rounder, not only good in studies but good in sports as well, in athletics, and good in maths, and good in social science, and good in everything. All-rounder. And here this person is very good because all-rounder in delusion. So one who has well-rounded delusion, आगे delusion, पीछे delusion, ऊपर delusion, नीचे delusion, इस तरफ delusion, उस तरफ delusion, delusion ही delusion. Means up delusion, all the diks, all the 10 directions are full of delusion. For whom is a well-rounded deluded person, here called parimohita. Very nice words. Mayaya parimohita. Let's just see the translation. Mayaya parimohita atma. This atma alone, as though deluded by Maya. Shariram asthaya. Asthaya means thinks of the body as real. Identifies with the body. Karoti sarvam. Becomes an actor and starts performing as it were all the actions. Who does that? The Atma, that is the source of the whole universe, as though deluded, does all these actions, thinks of itself as the actor. And since Ashvalayana is a male student, it is then the teacher is telling him, Stri, woman, the joy is derived from women. Anna, food, pana, drink. Vichitra bhogaihi, weird enjoyments. Yeah, vichitra means weird, strange enjoyment. And we can also take vichitra to give it a little, to give the Upanishad some more benefit of doubt. Vichitra means vividham chitrate, it means various tastes, the desires belonging to various tastes. You can take it like that also. So, Stri Anna Panadi Vichitra Bhogaihi, through the various bhogas, first it becomes a karta, correct? And then after that what happens? Then I told you the karta is got a matlab there. The karta needs something else, correct? Karta does karma because of becoming bhokta, in order to enjoy. So first gets deluded all round and then becomes karta. Then not satisfied with being karta, then becomes bhokta through getting identified with various objects of enjoyment such as women, and then what? Anna, food, and then pana, drink, all kinds of drinks, tastes, vichitra bhogaihi, through these, strange enticements and these strange objects of consumption. Sa eva jagrit, sa eva, that atma alone, because that sa eva is kept being repeated. Sa eva jagrit, that atma in the waking state, paritriptim eti, attains fulfillment in the waking state. This is an understatement. Attains fulfillment? More like attains disappointment. Yeah, but really speaking, the Upanishad is being very polite and trying to look at the bright side. The delusion also, like everything else, should have a bright side. What is the bright side of seeking the infinite in the finite all the time? The bright side is for a little while you are quiet. In between two desires, you can be quiet and down, correct? So this is the bright side. So what does this Brahman alone, you cannot say, and there are some schools of thought, be very careful, there are some schools of thought that say that Brahman descended to become a jiva. I told you the only thing that is descending is the colon. There is nothing else that descends. You have ascending colon and descending colon. They are body parts. They do not apply to Brahman. In fact, the name for Brahman is Achyuta, that which never descends. So then how can Jiva descend to become Jiva? There is no descent. There is no ascent. Because if we take the descent to be real, then what? Then the ascent also has to happen. Then how do we know, how can we guarantee that enlightenment is the final ascent? Because what after that there is one more descent? Then we have a prasanga, a situation of anirmoksha. There is no more moksha possible. This kind of prasanga comes. And so therefore what? Therefore we cannot accept this. This is against the Shastric vision. So therefore the Brahman does not descend to become the Jiva. It is as though identified with the ignorance. And all round the person becomes deluded because of the identification with the body-mind-sense complex, in which body-mind-sense complex this Brahman happens to live, as it were. And so this particular Brahman, etad desha kala avachinna chaitanya. Etad dehatma avachinna chaitanya, as it were. Deha and karya karana avachinna, sanghata avachinna chaitanya. So this Atma that was as though conditioned by the body mind sense complex, like the space in the pot is the same as the space outside, is it not? But the pot space, if it had a human mind, would say, I am small, let me out, I want to be free, when will I break the pot and come out, just like that. Did the space become pot space? No. In fact, did the space get confined? No. In fact, is space in the pot or is pot in space? Really? So therefore, we have to see it like that. When we look at it like that, then the delusion itself is mithya. Ignorance is mithya. Maya is mithya. Maya is not a parallel power to Brahman that says, I will not let you be Brahman. No. Maya itself is a mithya power, kalpita shakti. Ignorance is mithya, that's why it goes. It has to latch on to the ahankara, otherwise it cannot stay. It only lives with the one who identifies with it. Really. The one who keeps it as a pet. And so therefore what? So therefore this deluded Brahman, there is no knowledgeable Brahman and deluded Brahman. Brahman as though associated with a deluded body-mind-sense complex. Brahman as though conditioned by this body-mind-sense complex starts to identify with that said body-mind-sense complex, and what happens? It starts to become the actor and starts to act. And why does it act? In order to reap the benefit of the action and in order to become an enjoyer. Then does it enjoy? Briefly. And then what happens? It doesn't like what it got. So then it changes back to the actor. Then it wants to rest. Then it becomes the enjoyer, then the actor, then the recipient of action, then the actor, then the recipient of action. And before one knows it, this deluded, Chaitanya, this deluded Atma Tattva, which is as though identified with the body, mind, sense complex, says, I have become the Jiva. And when does this happen? In the waking state. Why not in the sleeping state? What action do you do in the sleeping state? What desire do you have in the sleeping state? None. So therefore, this shenanigan of the body, mind, sense identification is only during the waking state. Thank God. And if one is awake to this fact, it becomes very easy to get out of this delusion. The waking state is not the reality. Neither is the sleeping state reality. Neither is the dreaming state reality. What is the reality? That Atma, that which holds up the waker, the dreamer and the sleeper. And the waking state and the dreaming state and the sleeping state. So the Atma is neither waker nor dreamer nor sleeper. So now it is very easy to say that was the sleeping me. Correct? You can falsify the sleeping state. You can say that was not real because I didn't conduct any transactions in the sleeping state. You can also falsify the dream because that transaction is not really culpable. In dream you can biff somebody on the nose and not go to jail. Correct? Yeah, you are not culpable for the actions, and so that you can falsify the dream state very easily because it's not real. Even if you win the lottery in the dream lottery money cannot buy you a house in the waking state. Correct? It's a different currency. And so, but the question is this, that one gets stuck with a waking state, is it not? That is the question. But what makes you prioritize the waking state? Here is my question to you. Why do you prioritize the waking state over the sleep and the dream? What for? How? And if you prioritize the waking state over the sleep and the dream, then what you are doing is you are buying into the delusion, really speaking. Because that is the place where you take yourself, which is the non-acting Atma, to be an actor, where you take yourself, the non-bhokta Atma, to be a recipient of action. You mistake yourself. So the Omkara Upasana that was taught in the last verse is primarily so that one can falsify the waking state as well. When you are able to do that, that is the knowledge really. Falsify the waking state also, where you don't take all the transactions so seriously. So what are the transactions here? Stri annapanadi vichitra bhogaihi sa eva jagrat paritriptimeti. So always trying to gain a certain resolution, a certain satisfaction through keeping on, producing action and producing results and enjoying the fruits of the action. And this is a very sad state of affairs. Then what happens in the dream state? Next one. Swapne sajiva sukha dukkha bhokta.
Swapne sajiva sukha dukkha bhokta.
Swamayaya kalpita jiva loke.
Swamayaya kalpita jiva loke.
Sushupti kale sakale viline.
Sushuptikale sakale viline.
Tamo vibhutas sukharupameti.
Tamo vibhutas sukharupameti.
Yeah, so what happens in the dream and sleep? They have talked about, the teacher talks about in one verse. Swapne, in the dream, sajivaha. First the sa was Atma, correct? Sa was Atma and Brahman. Saha means that person was Atma, and now it has been made into Jiva. Why? Because the fellow thinks I am Jiva. Sajivaha, in the dream what does the person do? Sukha dukkha bhokta bhavati. Yeah. becomes a consumer or the recipient of sukha and dukkha. What kind of sukha and dukkha? Dream sukha and dream dukkha. Won the lottery, dream sukha, dream lottery. And then what happened? As you were coming home in the dream with a big bag of the money, somebody comes and steals it, dream dukkha. So becomes a bhokta in the dream. And this is very nice and a beautiful way. Please note that the kartritvam is talked in the waking state along with the bhoktritvam. In the waking state, the jiva is both karta and bhokta. In the dream state, there is no karta, only bhokta. And the sleep state also. Only bhokta is there. And because there is no kartritvam, there is no will, there is no agency. Swapne sa jivaha. And what happens? It's sukha dukkha bhokta. Who is the cause of the sukha and the dukkha in the dream? The happiness and the sorrow in the dream is because of who? Itself produces happiness and sorrow. Why? Swamayaya. Out of the own Maya Shakti. Bhagavan has a Maya Shakti. Jiva also, which is none other than Bhagavan, has a Maya Shakti inhibited, as it were, within the world of Bhagavan. So that own Maya Shakti is used to create this dream world and kalpita. So this is Jiva's srishti in the dream. Jiva's dream srishti. And in the Jiva's dream srishti, the Jiva itself is responsible for its own sukha and dukkha. It is Jiva's creation. This is what the Jiva does in dream. Then what happens in sleep? Sushupti kale, in the deep sleep. Sakale viline, with the resolution of the karta, bhokta, all of them. Tamobhibhutaha, tama abhibhutaha, overpowered by ignorance, becomes the nature of ignorance. And what does it do? Sukharupam eti. Ignorance attains the nature of ananda. What kind of ananda? Ignorant ananda. Doesn't know that I am ananda. Why? Because it is covered in the tamas of sleep. Covered in the tamas not of sleep, of ignorance. Covered in the tamas of ignorance, it doesn't know I am ananda. And if it doesn't know I am ananda, what does it do? It just continues to live in the sleep of ignorance, really. So in sleep what happens? There is a resolution of the doer and the done. The waker and the waking world are resolved. The dreamer and the dream world are resolved back in consciousness. And all that there is a sukshma world of the sleeper, the subtle world of the sleeper. And in this subtle world, what is happening? Nothing is happening. There are no divisions. There is no karta. Only bhoga is there, but without the knowledge, I am bhokta. You see? Yeah. That comes later when you say, I slept well. That means you are the good recipient of sleep. So this is very interesting. So the kartritvam is there only in the waking state. In the other two states, which are the other two states? The dream and the sleep, there is only bhoktritvam. In the dream, there is the half awake, semi-conscious bhoktritvam, the status of being the bhokta. In the sleep, there is no bhoktritvam at all. And this is what happens, And so, therefore, this is the lot of the jiva who identifies with the three states and identifies as the waker, as the sleeper, as the dreamer. Now, how to come back to the reality of this knowledge? The next verse is going to tell. Let us read it. Punascha janmantara karma yogat.
Punascha janmantara karma yogat.
Sa eva jivasvapiti prabuddhaha.
Sa eva jivasvapiti prabuddhaha.
Puratraye kridati yascha jivaha.
Puratraye kridati yascha jivaha.
Tatastu jatam sakalam vichitram.
Tatastu jatam sakalam vichitram.
Punascha. Oh, two more lines are there. Yeah. आधारमानन्दमखण्डबोधम्
आधारमानन्दमखण्डबोधम्
यस्मिल्लयं यान्ति पुरत्रयञ्च
यस्मिल्लयं याति पुरत्रयं च.
Yeah, so this is a very nice verse. How do you get back to this understanding that you are Brahman even though you are undergoing the three states, waking, dream and deep sleep? And how to use this as a teaching methodology, the prakriya. What is prakriya? A teaching methodology of the waker, dreamer and the sleeper. And so we will see that this on Thursday evening, our time at 6 o'clock. I don't want to go into explaining this because then I'll have to do it all over again because there's going to be a gap. So may as well do it at that time. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Questions?
In the morning session, you said there were vichara, two kinds of inquiry.
Yeah?
I missed what those were.
I don't remember saying.
Two kinds of inquiry?
Yeah.
Okay,
Two kinds of inquiry? In what context?
sorry. Yeah, I'm
We were
sorry.
talking about Tvam Pada Vichara.
Oh,
yes,
Tvam
yeah.
Pada Vichara. Yeah. Tat Pada, the not two kinds of inquiry. Inquiry into the word Tvam and inquiry into the word Tat. That's what I was talking about.
Okay.
Yeah. Not two kinds. The two words are inquired into. Yeah.
Okay.
When one is engaged in lucid dreaming, are they in waking state or dreaming state? The Mandukya Upanishad does accept lucid dreaming and it calls it Ubhayata Prajna, meaning it's in between the waking and the dreaming. Yeah. But that is also still a state. And that is, that is not something, that's fine. That is something that is there, that happens sometimes spontaneously. But it is not, Brahman is non-separate from that state, but that state is not Brahman. Let's see here. There seems to be kartritvam in early morning dreaming. Well, then it is not dreaming. Yeah. If there is kartritvam, it cannot be dreaming. It is said that karma is removed in the dream sometimes. How can karma removed when there is no kartritvam? Karma to remove karma, you don't need kartritvam. Bhagavan, removes karma. Because you are acting certain things out. So some prarabdha goes. Only prarabdha karma goes. Yeah. Some prarabdha can goes. In a movie based on life of Adi Shankara said, God, let my sleep be a prayer. Yeah, that's right. In the Shiva Manasa Puja, Nidra Samadhi Sthitihi. How can sleep be a prayer? It all is everything is a prayer. Eating is a prayer, walking is a prayer, it's your intentionality. Before going to sleep tonight, say, let my sleep be a prayer. It will be a prayerful sleep. Even though you are not the agent in the sleep, the intention before you go to sleep makes it, you visualize it as a prayer. The idea is, how can we give Bhagavan anything? So that's why my whole body is an offering to you. My sleep is an offering to you. In verse 10, you mentioned a nyaya for the word yati. Dehali Deepa Nyaya or Kakakshi Nyaya. Kakakshi Nyaya, same thing. We believe there are stories for children which say that the crow has one eyeball, so that's why it shifts the eye from this side to that side to see things. So that's how. So, or you can say the Deepa kept on the compound of two houses. Dehali Deepa Nyaya. A friend of mine told me she had a dream last night. She was talking to someone in her dream and she told them she belonged to Brahman. Where does this come from? Is this a projection of what she is thinking in the day, perhaps, or it is an abhyasa, a repetition of what she may already know from a last life? Yeah. One more question. Okay. If you don't mind, can you please share your experiences and challenges you faced from society taking sannyasa? Not really. No, not challenges. Yeah, there was nothing, it was not really a challenge. I took it as a blessing. Yeah. The causal body and deep sleep is described as prajna. What is the function of prajna in the mind? There is no function. Prajna means prakarshena ajna, the one that doesn't know anything. Yeah. It doesn't have any function because it doesn't know anything. Okay. All the best. Om.